Okay. Reading another chapter of Bloom Into You. I read a whole bunch yesterday and then talked about a lot of stuff. In that, if you remember my analogy, I already ate those cookies, so I can't use the cookie package, but the small part that overlaps, how important that small part feels. I had a long conversation about it with some friends last night. So I'm even more kind of emotionally bound up to the happenings of this series. So let's plunge in. This one is called Chapter 40. It's called The One I Love. Here we see you in kind of a mind space, hallway of doors. I've always had trouble choosing, so I waited for something to come. But now I've realized, oh, these are really lovely shots. The shadowing and stuff on this close-up of her face on the last panel is really beautiful. The light we searched for is here. This is an advertisement for the stage show and the Sayaka novels. Actually, the Sayaka novels, I thought at first was going to be like about her previous relationship, about her relationship in middle school. But it looks like here that it's her and Toko on the cover. So I'm not sure what's up with that. And of course, the latest volume, volume 7. The penultimate volume. So now we are into the final volume of the series. Oh man. I don't know if I'm ready. I want to support Nanami Senpai. I won't fall in love with you. Let's change it. Only know you. These are all kind of famous lines from the series. I want to support Nanami Senpai. She kind of made this vow at the outset of their strange relationship when she realized, like, I don't know, I can't really fall in love with her, I can't reciprocate her feelings, but I can do this. I can support her in my own way, and because she's such a wonderful person, I want to do that. I won't fall in love with you, of course, something that she promised to Nanami-senpai many times. Let's change it. That's what she said to Koyomi about the ending of the play, when she was dissatisfied with the idea of Toko just choosing one of the masks, choosing her girlfriend, wanting some fourth option. We only know you, of course, is her kind of climactic line in the play where she, excuse me, where she is like, you don't have to become any of those people. There is a you that has been born in this hospital that I've gotten to know, and I love it too. Already chosen Nanami Senpai time and time again. Yeah, yeah. That's right. That's what she's realized this whole time. Even though she thought she was being kind of passive, even though she thought she was just doing what was right, she's actually been choosing her. She's actually been making such a deliberate choice. Choice that means something. And we run out of the color pages, out of this kind of imagined space, into reality, into the Stukau room. After her little tour of iconic locales in the last episode, this is, of course, the most iconic, the most familiar. The student council office. She's not here yet, of course. Yeah, because he just ran full blast. She texted you that from the Shinkansen. So she still has to get from like the central Shinkansen station to the local station to the school. Oh, you. Should have known that she wouldn't have already got here. Yeah, you're freaking out. Talk about what, I wonder? Is there anything left to talk about? Oh, she got here quite quickly. Oh, no, just the window. Oh my god, I'm freaking out too. I'm freaking out too. Just that sound effect, just that little cut tap. I was like, oh, she's here. Just the wind. What am I expecting? What am I expecting? I'm expecting Toko to fully confess and be like, yes, I can reciprocate your feelings. Like I know now that I don't know how it's going to be put. I don't know how it's going to be worded. I know how it's going to end, I think. It's going to end with them together in a proper reciprocated romantic relationship, but it's the subtleties of it, it's the nuances of it, it's the way that they actually make this kind of perfect chain of actual, yeah, oh, and she's running for it too. She's put the dolphin on her backpack. Symbolism. She rattles the screen open. Obviously out of breath. Obviously having run there as quickly as possible. He did come from me. Wow, you didn't even text back. I just realized that. She didn't even text back. She just ran and went. Oh my gosh. That's love. That's gotta be love. That's when you're that inconsiderate, when you're inconsiderate to that extent out of like faith, that must be love. I don't know. What am I talking about? What am I even talking about? Oh my god. Did you want to talk about? So Yu's kind of keeping it a little cool because, you know, this is kind of her all over, right? She still really doesn't want to get hurt. Even though she kind of already had a revelation that she's running away. I think in these sorts of situations, because she's so uncertain, because she has no idea what Toko is going to say to her, she's trying to still keep some distance. Yeah. You. I love you. I love you a lot. What's happening? Please wait. I broke the promise we made. They're so close. They're so close. It's true that back then, when I fell in love with you here in the spring, it's because you said you wouldn't fall for anyone. Ah, so it's kind of interesting. Because, you know, I kept thinking about this whole, you love me for me, so what does that mean about if I change? Like, if you love everything about me, then what can I do as a human being again? And I was kind of thinking it from mostly like Sayaka's perspective and from Toko's kind of feeling towards you. But I guess it also makes sense that Toko was having some anxiety about this too. Like when she was kind of surprised and confused by Sayaka saying, "Oh, I fell in love with you right away." I think it was kind of also her feelings of confusion around her own kind of fall in love with at first sight, where she fell in love so quickly with you when she related to you saying, "I don't think I could fall in love with anyone." See this kind of mirror here? This is, of course, like a very, very similar scene to that first scene, where Yu is calling the guy that liked her in middle school to reject him. They're holding hands. So it's like, yeah, Toko, I guess, was actually quite concerned about this, quite concerned about like what the origins of her love for you were, if they kind of made sense, if they were consistent, if they allowed for growth, like all of these sorts of real anxious type concerns. So now she's like figured it out. She's actually articulated. Yeah. I've always been afraid of the word love, but I've decided not to be afraid anymore. Oh my god, are they just doing it? Are they gonna just become lovers? We're not bound by love to stay the same. It is okay to change. After all, I still love you even now. Even though you've changed, I still love you. Yeah. And she closes the curtains to kind of show we're breaking off from the past. I don't want just the same patterns over and over again. I've changed, you've changed. But in another symbolic sense, she's closing the curtains, because something very intimate might start happening. And she doesn't want Maki to be wandering around looking in. They've learned that lesson, at least. Even though what you love doesn't exist anymore. Oh. Okay, so there's a scene in Liz and the Bluebird. I don't want to spoil it too much if you haven't seen that movie, where they do the I love you hug. This is apparently, I think it's real, or at least it's real within the canon of the movie, at any rate. It's this thing where you hug each other and you just go back and forth and say things you love about the other person. Doesn't that sound nice? Oh, I don't know. It's not really for me, but it's a nice idea. And I don't know, something about that. It's really powerful for me to see in like in a movie or in a manga or whatever. Characters just unabashedly letting their feelings overflow, like allowing themselves to, love how kind you are. Though you're a little hesitant, I love how your courage shows for the sake of others. Love the way you smile as you say, Shoganai! Shoganai, senpai. Shokataganai. It can't be helped. Short stature. When you get worked up over about it, they're cute too. Your fluffy hair. Hands that are cool and soft to the touch. Your soothing voice. I love it. Those are special to you? How do you know it's me that's special and not someone else? Of course I know. Because you're the only one on my mind. It even makes me happy, but sometimes I also feel like I'm about to cry. It makes me a soppy mess, but I don't ever want to lose you. Has to be you. I love you. My firmly held hand is slightly trembling, but it's not me, it's her. This is a kind of a motif we've seen a few times in the series, where in these moments of real physical intimacy, they kind of lose track of, whose heart is beating, whose breath is trembling. It's not me, it's her. She's still afraid. Yeah. Because it's like, if you think about it, there's kind of like been two back and forths, There's Nanami Toko, who loved you because you couldn't love her back. And then you eventually falls in love with that Toko. But that Toko, in Yu's mind, is the one that loves you because you can't love her back, right? So therefore, it's like, for Toko to still love you after that is like yet another Toko. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like yet another evolution. So I think in this moment, Toko is like, oh, were you just in love with the me that loved you because you didn't love me? This is getting complicated. It feels like I'm talking about a Fukumoto gambling manga or something, and they've read each other like 12 times back and forth. But do you get what I'm saying? I'm not going to bother drawing a diagram. I'm in love with the you that loved me because I wasn't in love with you. And then she goes, well, surprise, I'm still in love with the you that loves me back. So she's thinking, in this moment, she's thinking like, did I go too far? Like, have I breached something now in this acknowledgement of mutual love that will kind of break the spell, and now you won't love me again? Oh man, that's tough. I love you, and I also. Even so, she's still saying it. Yeah, yeah. So she has this fear. I think the fear is legitimate. I think she's right in that she's quite afraid. But that's what courage is. It's not being afraid. It's doing it despite being afraid. It's doing it because it's important, and it doesn't matter if you're afraid. So, there we go. This is it. This is the thing. This is the actual thing. This is the only part where she's really transcended what she said before. I also want you to love me. Oh man, a confession for the ages to be sure. Ah, Senpai, you're so unfair. She said that so many times so far. You really are unfair. Even though I also wished for that unreasonable love. Love. Feeling of regarding someone as special. I thought it would come falling from somewhere one day. All this like astrological imagery and stuff. Oh, it's so romantic. But that's just it though. It's not about that. A grand feeling from an unknown place. No. Stars aren't up there, hundreds of billions of miles away. The feeling of that starry, dazzling love, it comes from within. A grand feeling from an unknown place beyond my control. But perhaps my love isn't like that. It's something I had to choose and reach out for myself. Look, she's putting her other hand. And I have already made my choice many times since. Staying by your side, wishing to change you. She did a lot. She did a lot. I was able to choose because of all the times you said you loved me. Decided that you were my special one. Remy Senpai. Oh, I'm really glad. Oh, wow. Mm, mm. She licks her tears. That's gross. Oh. Hmm. So Yu has only like proactively kissed her once before, I think. On the bridge right before she confessed the first time. She's taking the lead again, but it's off screen. One of their few kind of off screen kisses. It really signifies that this one is very special. They did the same trick in Girlfriends. They did. The first screen was off kiss. I mean, the first, what? The first real kiss was off screen. The first, like, kiss as girlfriends. I thought that was really sweet. It has this sense of like we've talked a lot about kind of, I don't know, like who are you as the viewer in these sorts of mangas? Like where are you in relation to the characters or whatever? So this feeling that in these most special moments that it becomes private only to the characters. Cuddling to the chance to punch him. Okay. That's it. Okay. Alright. Alright. So, what's going to happen now? We still have the rest of this volume. I'm really hoping that it's just kind of their first adventures as a couple, you know? I think a lot of series end too quickly after they finally get together. And this is, I mean, it's a little different because they were always sort of like pseudo together, you know? But I'm hoping that we'll really, you know, we'll get a lot of that. It's not just going to be like, surprise, there's another problem, you know? Oh, what? You're moving? Your family's moving to America? I don't know. Maybe some stuff with like you coming out to her sister, to her family, maybe Toko coming out to her family. I think those could be really well done. Hoping for some stuff with Yu's friends, maybe a bit of action with the teacher and her partner and Sayaka, you know, confiding in them that she was rejected and them supporting her and stuff. I think that would be quite nice. There's so many things. A volume isn't enough. I think there should be 12 more volumes. Just as a start. And then Bloom Into You 2 can start. Man. Alright. Okay. That's all for now. We're 2 chapters behind. I'm thinking by the time all the ones I've recorded now have been uploaded, I should have time to go and read those as well, so you can expect a chapter every day until we're caught up. Yeah, that's all for now. Bye-bye.